Hello and welcome to This Inspired Life. My name is Andy Taylor and this video is a little bit different because I want to start it with a reflection based on the world that we're living in right now, with the troubled times that we're all facing. We're still in the middle of, let's not forget, the whole coronavirus epidemic. The countries all around the world are still in lockdown. We're still struggling with cases coming in, new cases being reported every day in various quantities, depending on who you talk to and listen to. And it's an ongoing process of coping with it. And then on top of all of that, you had the disturbances in the United States with regards to the situation that happened with George Floyd, the death of George Floyd. And it's really sparked something deep within a lot of people that feel it necessary that despite the risks involved because of the COVID situation, the COVID crisis, that it was a message worthy enough for them to take that risk, gather in groups and protest. In the majority of times and situations, peacefully. Then all hell broke loose. The government the US government, I should say, the government's handling of the situation deteriorated massively. And you have all kinds of factions now coming out with statements about the other. And, President Trump is using it as a political tool, which, hey, you picked him to run the country. But it really got me thinking because my own friends have got a vast difference of opinions on the whole situation, whether it's the Trump administration, whether it's the whole situation with George Floyd or the coronavirus. And it just got me thinking with all the different things I was seeing today that I thought of something that I wanted to share, which is all about being open-minded, all about understanding that just because, and it's something we spoke about in a previous video just last week, which is about the reality we create for ourselves. Now, being open-minded to the fact that, and not a prospect that or the potential that, but the fact that someone else is going to have a different interpretation of reality than you. And that's okay. Just because people don't agree with you, that is okay. It's not your job to convince someone that they're wrong and you're right. It's not your job to try and convince and force people to agree with you. That's not what life is about. That's not what any of this is about. When you realize that you have your very specific interpretation of what you consider to be reality, then your life gets so much simpler. But that's not to say that it gives you the right to go out and force it down other people's throats. Now, I'm being a little bit forceful with saying that, and it's needed because I see so many people spending so much time and so much energy essentially trying to force other people to change their opinions, to agree with them, because I'm right, you're wrong. That is not how it works. We each have our own interpretation of what is real for us because of the circumstances that we're in, because of the situations we've lived through, because of the trauma that we've lived through. Okay, we've all been through our own version of trauma, and it's led us to where we are. So just because someone doesn't agree with you, it is not up to you to convince them otherwise. If they hold that belief, it's for a reason. Okay, and their reasons are their own. Now, I'm not going to judge anybody and say, well, that's the wrong one. That's a good one. That's not too bad, but that's awful. That's not me. That's not my job to do that. I share differing opinions and ideals and ideologies than a lot of people in this industry when it comes to personal development and when it comes to coaching. And it just saddens me to see so many people getting the fundamentals wrong. And especially so when so many of these individuals profess to be, in other terms, profess to be enlightened people. Okay, now what that actually means is up for grabs. So what enlightenment actually is in today's world is completely up for grabs, I think. But when I see so many people trying to force their ideologies, trying to force their ideals, their values, their beliefs onto other people, it just shows a complete incredible level of ignorance of how people work. The fact that you have your opinion, the fact that you have your interpretation of reality is your interpretation of reality, but it's not your place, it's not your job, your role to convince other people that theirs is wrong and yours is right. That's not what it's about. You stick to you. You master you, let other people master them. Okay? And I feel it's a really powerful thing to share because it frustrates me when I see so many people, so many otherwise knowledgeable, sane, intelligent people behave in ways which just make my mind boggle, to be perfectly honest with you. And it is sad as well, because otherwise sensible, intelligent people are behaving like children in the playground. When, if somebody disagrees with them, it's, oh, she doesn't like me, I'm going to go and tell teacher. What good does that do? Really, what good does that do? And as I said, and I'll reiterate the point because it's worth reiterating, is the fact that it's not your place to convince other people they're wrong. Give them facts, give them information, or show them the way, certainly. Show them, point them towards a place where they can see a different side of the story, maybe. And then invite them to see more of what's going on. And it's up to them, but it's on them. Okay? If you want to influence change in the world, the first step is acknowledging that it's not up to you to convince anybody. It's not up to you to force anybody to comply. It's not up to you to force your beliefs and values onto other people and devil take the hindmost. That's not how it works. If you want to really affect mass change in the world and massive change in the world, then all you can do is stay true to you. Just be who you were born to be. Live your version of what you want reality to be for you. Don't worry about anyone else. Let them take care of themselves. They either will or they won't. Either way, it's not your problem. Either way, it's not your place to change them or to compete with them or to convince them of anything. And it's really something I'm passionate about because I see it a lot. I've seen it a lot recently, and it just almost brings me to a point of I've got tears welling up because I'm so passionate about this. The world needs more compassion and understanding. Okay? Doesn't need any more people lecturing and bitching at everybody. Well, you're wrong. You need to believe this. This is what you need to believe. If you want to try and affect change and you want to try and show people another way, show them the way, point the direction by all means. Point them in the direction of new insight and new information by all means. Share new insight and new information by all means. But just just get away from this idea that you have to convince them of anything. Just rid yourself of this notion that it's your job to convince them that they're wrong and they need to fall in line behind you. No. Just no. So, just a quick video today, and I've said all I need to say on it, I think. And it's one of those where it's going to get a mixed review. Mixed emotions are going to be coming out, I think, as you watch this. But for me personally, I think we just need to hear it. So many people need to hear it. The only person you have any kind of illusion of control over is you. You focus on you. Let other people focus on them. If you see an opportunity to share something of insight and of value to them that might affect their interpretation or their evaluation or belief about something, then by all means do it. But just try and just please get away from the idea that it is your job to convince anyone of anything. It is not. You will always be best served, and you will always best serve other people if you take care of you first, right? So take care of you. Then when you have you under control, when you have you sorted, when you are in a better situation, when you're in a situation that makes you wake up in the morning and sing and come alive because you get to live your life today, the life that makes you go, wow, when that is where you are, you will find that people will gravitate to you because you will inspire them, you will motivate them, you will bring joy and light and happiness wherever you tread. And people will naturally look to you for guidance, for inspiration. And they will look to you and think, well, okay, what do you know that I don't? Because my life sucks right now. I want some of that. Can you help me? That is when you are given permission by someone to step in and say, well, actually, what I saw several years ago is that this is a different way of looking at the world that I adopted. And what I learned several weeks ago was that by changing this aspect of how I see the world, things shifted for me. You have permission then. But the most important thing, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, is the fact that when you are living that life that makes you go well, or are simply on the pathway to getting to that life that makes you go well, because it's all about the journey, right? So the fact that you are working on daily projects that get you your objectives, that reach your objectives, that get you to your desired outcome, just getting up in the morning knowing you're working on project X that will get you to your objective, that gets you to your overall outcome, that's enough to make you wake up and go, fuck yeah, I love my life. Okay, so just focus on you. Just concentrate on you. Just think about what's best for you. What reality do you want to create for you? And just live that. Just be the best version of you that you can be. Get back in touch with that core person, that diamond that lives within. Dig through all the bullshit, all the varnish and veneer, the bullshit layer. Get rid of all of that and just shine. And then the second you shine, and the second you are on the way to reaching your desired outcome, you are living your life that makes you go well by getting up every day, being motivated, being inspired, being motivating and inspiring other people. Just by getting up and working on the projects that will get you to your objectives, that gets you to your outcome. Okay, when you are doing that, you will naturally find that people gravitate towards you because you inspire them, you motivate them, you make them want to be better people. Okay, you make them want to create a better life for themselves and their families. You give them permission to make changes that they otherwise would be aimlessly searching for in other places and not find it. So I want to leave you with a quote. Now, I believe it's by the physicist David Bohm. I'm not entirely sure, so if you can correct me, please do so, but I'm fairly certain it was David Bohm. And it's, man will always be trapped in a room with a door that is unlocked and opens inwards for just so long as it never occurs to him to pull rather than push. So many people are pushing on that door and feeling stuck. So many people are pushing on that door and feeling frustrated that they're not getting anywhere, frustrated that nobody's listening to what they have to say. It is not your place to open the door for them. But it is something that you can do, is by demonstration. Show them that in your life you have discovered that you pull the door gently and it will open freely. That's it for today. It's a bit of a strange video. I know it's not in keeping with everything else, but it's a message I wanted to get out there today, of all days, because of so much that I've seen today, and arguments between friends on social media, and it's it just made me think about what was really needed right now. And I think the idea that the first step is acknowledging that the only place you have complete dominion is of yourself, is over yourself and your life. So focus on you. Focus on constructing the reality, the interpretation of how you want the reality you want to live to be. Construct that first. Live the life that makes you go wow. And you'll find that you don't need to try and convince anyone of anything. And you really shouldn't anyway. Okay, so as I said, a bit of a strange one today. Hope it's been helpful either way. And yeah, if you like the video, just leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again in the next one.